quit my job. I never thought for a million years I would be in a position to say those words. I have quit my job. After 12 years of working for the same company, I have finally escaped and I've quit. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lauren. I run a felt toy business over on Instagram. I run it primarily through Instagram, but I'm trying to broaden my horizons. I want my business to be well known, and right now, no one knows about it. So follow my journey along on YouTube and watch me grow my business. So this is the starting point. This to me is me starting my business, not from scratch, but starting it properly, putting my absolute everything that I've got into this business, because this is the biggest risk I have ever taken. People think I'm crazy for quitting my job, and you know what? I would agree, but I've never felt passion or believed in something like I believe in Little Brood. So why did I quit my job after 12 years? Well, short answer, because I had to. Long answer, I was juggling just way too much. Having a part-time job 3 days a week, then running my business and also having to look after 2 kids, it just became a little bit too much and something had to give, and I wasn't giving Little Brood. I have grown Little Brood from scratch and it's been the highlight of my year, and I absolutely love Little Brood, so I wasn't going to give that up, and I know that I can grow it and it can become successful. I know that. So my job had to give. I didn't enjoy it, and what is point staying in a job that you don't love? And that's how I was feeling. So I was working, coming home, working on Little Brood, then I would put the kids to bed, then work on Little Brood again, and then I'd go to bed, and it would be a cycle. It would just be constant and it would never stop. I was finding that I was trying to fit Little Brood in every small piece of time that I had, and to get time around kids is actually quite difficult, especially when your partner works full time and you're the main provider and you're the one that's more responsible for your child because they're with you the most. Harper and Noah go to nursery, and on Wednesdays, that was my only day that I would have where I don't have the kids, and I'd be able to just work on Little Brood, but then I would find that I'm pushing and shoving everything into that one day, and it just became so stressful. And then when I'd go pick the kids up from nursery, I'd come back and wait for Chris to get home, and then once he's home, I would then go back to work in Little Brood, and so on. The cycle just continues and continues. Then I'm at work on Friday, I'm at work on Saturday. On Sunday we go to my mum's because Chris is at work and I just have the kids, so I can't really do anything then. And then on Monday I would go back to work. On Tuesday I just have the kids, Chris is at work, so I can't do Little Brood then, and then it would just be Wednesday. So really I was shoving Little Brood into every evening when the kids were asleep and just that one Wednesday, and it's not enough. And to say I've grown it from nothing to where it is now, just working that one day in those evenings, proves to me that I can absolutely grow Little Brood to where it needs to be if I had the time, and that is what I needed to get the time. I'm working part-time for another company, doing a job that I did not like, enjoy, dreaded going in, was not gonna help, so I let it go. And I felt a massive weight lift off me just quitting that job. And this is my first day working for myself, and it feels frigging good. It feels amazing, but I am anxious, I'm not gonna lie. I've got everything depending on me now. I need to earn a full-time wage, I need to be able to provide for my family, I need to be able to pay my bills, I need to be able to afford things for my children, school trips, everything, you know. And that weight is on me. I don't have a backup anymore if things go wrong, so all I've got to do is keep my motivation high and keep pushing. There's one thing that I really want to get into next year, and that's TikTok. I feel like I'm missing that platform, and I want to be able to create more content for that, and I think having more time to be able to do that would help, hopefully. I want to get on TikTok lives and do things like that. I love social media. Before I actually started my business, I did do content creating over on TikTok. I loved it. I loved documenting my babies, like me becoming a new mum and documenting the early months of being a parent, because it was relatable to people that also had young kids and was stuck in the same pit of doom that I was in. You know, because early months of being a mum is not easy, but it is not easy. So that's what I did. I did TikTok content creation, and I do have over 20,000 followers on there. And Chris was like, Lauren, you really need to get on TikTok, like people will love your stuff, get on TikTok, this, that and this. But realistically, like my followers on my TikTok are not there for my business content. They're not there for my felt toys. They're there for just real life tricks, hacks, and some relatable content to them. And that's my following. And I think that's what you've got to remember, like, know your place. Know your place. But I decided it was just such a random time, and I was at work actually, and oh God, I've not posted anything in ages. I had a zoo collection coming up, and I was like, I've not really marketed this at all. And I kind of just thought this is just going to be a flop because I've done no marketing whatsoever for it. And I just posted a simple TikTok of me showing the zoo mat off on TikTok, and it blew up. I didn't expect it to blow up. I'd been absent from TikTok for months. Like when you're absent from a social media platform, it seems to forget about you, it pushes you to the back. And that's what I thought it would do. But it was genuine people that genuinely loved my felt toys, and it just felt great just to see like all the people coming to support me. And it just showed me like, hold on a minute, I'm missing something here. I am definitely missing this platform. But the biggest thing for me was just I was not having the time. During summer, it was fine because there was light. I could do things after work. I could make content after work. But during winter, I come home from work, it's dark. I can't make good content when it's dark. So there is just numerous of reasons why I had to quit my job. And, you know, it's a massive risk, and I know it's a risk, but Chris believes me. Chris is my partner. I'd say boyfriend, but I just feel too old to be saying boyfriend. Do you know what I mean? He's my partner. He's my number one supporter. He believes in absolutely everything that I do, and it keeps me going. He's been looking after the kids while I've been doing this, and it's just amazing to have that support. It really is. My family and friends, would I say they're supportive? Yes, but now this is a weird one. Not one friend. Well, actually, I tell a lie. When I first started Little Brood, a friend bought something from me, but not one friend since I'd started Felt has ever bought anything from me. Now, I'm not expecting my friends to all buy things from me. I'm not. I'm really not. But when most of your friends have kids that would absolutely go mad for the stuff that I sell, doesn't buy anything from you, that's a bit shit. But do you know what? I believe in me. Chris believes in me, and that's all I need. That's all I need. My kids love the stuff. I see them playing with it all the time, and do you know what? That's a push that I need. That is a push that I need. Honestly, I think I'm just diverted and I'm just spieling off spiel at the minute. I did write notes down to keep myself on track, but I cannot stick to those. I'm just rambling. I just love a little ramble. So I started Little Brood when Harper was 18 months old. She's now 4, and I started it with painting peg dolls, and I've always been crafty. I've always wanted to do something like that. I actually started my own business during lockdown, painting press-on nails, and that did actually really well. I sold out on Etsy, but I got bored. I went back to work after lockdown, didn't have the time, and I got bored. Fast forward to when Harper's 18 months old, I'm on a part-time wage, and I'm just like, how do people survive on a part-time wage? Like, Chris doesn't earn mega bucks, you know, like I have to work to be able to provide for the family too. So I was looking into new ways of like what I could do and how I could earn money, and I was earning a little bit of money from TikTok, but it wasn't a lot, and I didn't really have the passion or the drive for it, so I ended up getting bored of that as well. And then when Alpa was 18 months old, I started Little Brood. And Little Brood started from me painting peg dolls, and that's what I did. But it never lifted. It never lifted. I've always been craftsy and artsy, I love painting and stuff like that, but I didn't like doing the customs, and it was only the custom stuff that would sell. Like, I wanted free reign, I wanted to be able to create something that just comes out of my mind and I'm in the moment, so then I can enjoy it. But that's not what people wanted. People wanted their own thing, which is fair enough. So I put up my paintbrush. Do you hang up a paintbrush? I hung up my paintbrush. I don't know, I placed my paintbrush down and I thought, I don't want to do this. And I started making little clothes for the peg dolls instead of painting them on. And it was great. You know what, I sold a couple and I enjoyed it to a certain extent. I just didn't enjoy the sewing part. The designing the clothes, putting it on the peg dolls, great. Sewing, not so great. Like, I just didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel passionate about it. It was boring. So I stopped doing that. That never really went anywhere at all. So I went back to painting. And there was one time when I was photographing the peg dolls and I thought, I need a background, and I've got no background for it. So I went onto Google and I didn't really know what I was searching for. I think I just put like playmat or something like that in Google, and it came up with that playscapes. I was like, oh my god, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're stunning. Like, I loved how it looked like nature. Like, I just loved that. And I went on and I found a seller on Etsy, and she created the most beautiful toys you've ever seen. Mostly playscapes, but like she did other things like little animals and things like that. And it was honestly the most beautiful toys you've ever seen. And unfortunately I was not in a position to be able to buy these playscapes. It was like £150, and whilst I absolutely appreciate the hard work that goes into it and the skill, I could not afford that. I could not buy my own. So I, being the person that I am, figured out what technique she used. I googled it and did so much research on this technique called wet felting, and I thought, I want to do that. That looks so fun. So there wasn't much like on playscapes, but the technique itself I learned myself from watching loads of YouTube and just Google searching and reading up about it. I've read a really long I think they're called blogs when you read them. I read a really long blog of this fibre artist and how she does it and her techniques and stuff like that, and I applied it to my playscape. So my very first playscape, and I will show you, give me a second. This is my very first playscape. It's even double-sided. I don't even know who I thought I was doing a double-sided playscape, but I've kept it because this is where I came from. This is the very first thing I ever made, and was it great? Absolutely not. Was I proud of myself? Yes. Did I use it as my background for my peg dolls? Yes, I did. And I had someone come to me and say, oh my god, you make those? And I was like, well, I made this, yeah. Oh, if you ever make them, I would love to buy it. And that was the thing that went off in my head, and I was like, if I ever made these to buy, I would love to buy it. Okay, well, that's one customer. The things with toys as well, you've got to do your research on safety and you've got to test everything and stuff like that, and that costs money. So I put everything that I had in my bank and I had the wool tested, and I learned how to test safely at home as well and to be able to document it. So that's what I did, and I started making playscapes and I enjoyed it. I love the whole process around it. I have fun when I make it. I feel passionate about it and I enjoy it so much. So yeah, this right here was the beginning of Little Brood. When I started making my mats, I then had a supplier from Nepal message me and come into contact with me and say, I'd love to make these for you and you can stock them in your shop and sell them to customers. And I was just a bit like, I've always made my own stuff, but there was like, you know, this is your design, you're just manufacturing it, making more, and you'll be able to sell more, and more customers will be able to get your stuff. So I did think about it, and I didn't have a lot of money. I think I had about £120 in my bank, and I was doing custom playmats at the time, so I would draw up a design and people would just buy it from the drawing, and then I'd send the playmat, and that worked really well for me. But I wasn't getting a lot of money from it. It wasn't a proper business. I don't even think I'd hit over the £1,000 profit threshold to even pay my tax, because I wasn't earning a lot from it. The wool was expensive, it was taking a lot of my time. I'd only be able to do like one mat a week. So I thought, do you know what? I want more people to know about Little Brood, and they're not going to know about that if I can only do or sell one mat a week. So I said, yeah, okay, let's give it a try. And I said, I can only afford a very limited amount of stuff, and we agreed to do like little loose parts and stuff to begin with, to be able to get some more money into the business. So that's what I did. I did my first launch in January last year. No, January this year. We're still in this year. So that's what I did, little loose parts and stuff like that. And then I got some more money. I profited from all that, kept it in the business, and then I said, right, okay, let's do some playmats. Put some more money in, got more money out, put it back in the business, put more money in, go back out, put it back in the business. And that's what I kept doing until August this year, when I hit 10k in my business account. I decided I want to start paying myself a wage, and I did. Not a lot, but I topped my part-time wage up to a full-time wage, and then I had a full-time wage, and it was great. Fast forward a couple of months, and fast forward to where I am today. I'm in a position where I can pay myself a full-time wage now. And I said, and I always said, if my business ever gets to the point where it can pay me a full-time wage, I will quit my job. And here I am today. It can pay me a full-time wage, and I'm ready to quit my job. So that's how the suppliers came to Little Brood. Just simply from coming to me. And then I found a new supplier in September to make some new products for autumn, and it hit off straight away. The products that they created were just so beautiful, the quality amazing, the time scale fantastic, everything about it was fantastic. And now I work with 3 different suppliers. I'm probably on revenue getting around £6,000 a month revenue. Like, the stock costs a lot, so let's just half that, and maybe half it again, and that's my profit. But that is where I am now, and with the time that I've had, I've got to where I am now. So I'm thinking, now I've quit my job, I can put more time in. Can I double my revenue? Can I double it? I think I can. I believe in myself, and I think the only way you can get to where you want to be in life is if you work for it, and I am 100% working for it. It is my passion, and do you know what gives me the drive as well? My kids give me the drive. Like, I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to give my kids the best life, the best starting point in life. And I'm not saying money is everything, but money is a big thing. Let's be fair. It's you can't do a lot of things if you don't have the money. Another big reason why I wanted to quit my job from a personal perspective was because I was late to work nearly every Monday, because I'm rushing around getting the kids ready to go to nursery. Excuse the camera angle, Chris has just come in and I decided to get something to eat, so we're back again. Where was I? Okay, yeah, so on personal reasons and other stuff why I've decided to quit my job, it's because Mondays. I hated Mondays. I was late every single Monday because Mondays was the hardest to get the kids ready around mine and Chris's work and get them to nursery on time, and then us get to work on time. So Mondays were difficult, and I was finding that I was calling nearly every single Monday to say that I was late. And I hate having to answer to someone. I just hate having to explain. Just that life gets in the way and I'm late for work, and them actually understand that, because oftentimes when I'm ringing ill or ringing late, I feel like I'd have to build myself up to be able to do that. Just to explain why. Anyway, as many of you know, if you've watched my previous vlogs, you'd know that I've been suffering really badly with a vitamin deficiency this year, and I've been quite poorly with it. Like, I've been exhausted, no energy, generally feeling unwell, feeling like I'm hungover most days. I didn't know whether I was coming or going. Some days I felt fine, some days I didn't, and there was plenty of occasions where I had to call in sick because I just couldn't get out of bed. And having to explain that to someone who has no idea, no clue about what you're going through over like a 2-minute call is quite difficult, and it affected my attendance quite a lot. And I've always had great attendance at work. I've never needed any time off really, apart from when the kids are poorly. Or I've got like the flu or something, but that was rare. And I felt like I was calling in all the time, and it affected my attendance. And then obviously I would need to then go down like disciplinary routes and stuff like that, and yeah, it's just not great. And I thought, why am I putting myself through this when I don't need to be putting myself through it? So that was another big reason. And also the fact that when you've got kids as well, like, you're gonna put them first. Noah started nursery this year, and he's only a baby. Like, he started it at like 10 months old, so he was catching every bug under the sun, and I was finding that I needed to call in work to look after him. So I was calling and having a lot of dependence days as well, and every time I called and said, I just felt like I just wasn't believed. Like, I felt like they was making out like I was a liar, and most of them knew that I had another business. Like, and then I was thinking to myself, what if they think I'm just ringing in because I'm choosing to do my own business instead of choosing to work for them? That's what I thought. Basically, in a nutshell, I felt like a bit of an outcast. I could never commit myself fully to the job. There was always something that was pulling me away from it, and everyone else there was full-time, they was committed, they wanted to grow within the company, and I just didn't. Like, maybe a couple of years ago I did want to progress and all that jazz, but within the job that I was in HR, there was no opportunity to grow unless I became a manager for the retail side of the company, and I didn't want to do retail. I wanted to do HR, and it was just, the job changed. It became a slog. It wasn't fun. It was just more filling paperwork out, and even the hiring process and all the recruitment bits, it just wasn't fun anymore. Like, none of it was fun, and just felt like all these factors that was adding up gave me a reason to quit my job in a hole. So the fact that I needed more time for my business, the fact that I just didn't enjoy my job anymore, and the fact that I felt like I was just letting people down constantly because I could never commit fully, is all reasons why I had to let it go. And honestly, I do think it is going to be the best thing that I've ever done. And I never thought I'd leave the company to work for myself. I actually thought I'd leave the company to work for someone else, but never took the risk. But here I am taking the risk of the potential no income whatsoever, you know. But that is not going to happen. That is definitely not going to happen. So I'm gonna prove not only to myself, because I don't feel like I need to prove that to myself, because I know and I believe, but I'm gonna prove it to my friends who don't buy things from me. No, look, honestly, I actually don't care that they don't buy things from me. I don't care, as long as they support me. And to be fair, I don't think they understand quite how, I'm not going to say my business is big, but just how much money I bring in every month. I don't think they understand that. Like, when I said, oh, I'm quitting my job, you get the, oh really, can you afford that? Can you afford to do that? Well, of course, because I wouldn't be putting myself in a position where I couldn't afford to live, you know? So yeah, I'm doing this for myself, I'm doing it for my family, and that is all I need to say on it. So yeah, I think that's it. That's all I need to say in this video, really. But if you want to follow my journey on growing my business, especially during next year, fresh start in January, it would be 1 year into Little Brood. If you want to follow my journey, then please subscribe to my channel. It will mean the world to me to have supporters, and I know I already have a lot of supporters, especially coming from Instagram, but it would mean the world to me to be able to jump into another community on YouTube especially and document my whole journey, because it can be a lonely place. It can be a lonely place running your own business, especially from home. You might get the cabin fever, but just being able to speak to someone and relate to someone would be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, if you like this video as well, please give it a like, please subscribe, and tell me about your proudest achievement this year, because mine is definitely quitting my job. Bye for now.